Hey friends, it's Peter Bowden. Welcome to this session on turning your congregation's YouTube channel into an online welcome center. If you're joining us live, let me know where you're tuning in from. You can say hello in a comment. Let me know where you're watching, YouTube, Facebook. Well, I'll see that. But yeah, let us know that you're joining live and we'll get into it. So right now, people are online in record numbers, you know that. As someone who works with congregations, digital strategy, community building, and really trying to make it easier for newcomers to connect with congregations, I'm always looking at how we can really fine-tune things or make some big changes to make it easier. And one thing that I've noticed lately is that as we have congregations doing more and more online with worship, other programming, and congregations starting to really use more and more different strategies with the video. This session is brought to you by my training, Video Ministry Academy. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end if you're interested. But as we're doing more and more with video, I'm looking at congregations' YouTube channels all the time. And I think 2/3 of the channels I look at, when I land on the channel, so congregation's YouTube channel, they have a header, banner, maybe it's a picture of people, maybe it's an empty building. Don't like the empty building. Show people, show Zoom screens. But often, all that's there when you land on the page is a little section that says uploads, and there are 6 video thumbnails. If you say I have a bunch of videos in your channel, YouTube will just default to a channel layout that just shows uploads. And so what we want to do is go through some steps to very quickly transform that front page of your YouTube channel, customize it so it's more like an online welcome center. So number one, hello to everyone joining live. We got people, some friends, Lorraine, Nancy, Michael, Gil, and others coming on. And we have people on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. That's right. I'm using StreamYard to broadcast across channels. All right. So here's 5 steps I want you to go through to really take charge of your YouTube channel and make it more optimized for newcomers. First, when you welcome someone, if you're meeting in person, like people are coming into your church, like if they actually show up, we welcome them with welcome tables often. We try and have someone who can be a friendly face, who can make a personal connection and really make them feel like they belong. Well, how do you do that online? The simplest way is to have a featured welcome video from a human being who's on. The video is there designed for no other purpose but to welcome your new visitors to that channel. YouTube has a feature where when you go to that channel page, you can click to customize it. So if you're logged into YouTube, just at the top of your channel page, it'll say customize just under the header. One of the things you can add in that customization is a featured video. And YouTube lets you make one option, one video, set it for people who are not subscribers, then another video for returning subscribers. So you can actually have a video front and center at the top of your channel for people who haven't subscribed. Who are those people? Your visitors. So what we want to do is take someone who is really, I like to think of it as not necessarily your minister, the person who is championing your visitors and helping them connect. It might be a membership person, staff person, a volunteer, doesn't matter. But what I want you to think about is if there's one person who for your congregation is really most responsible, like in their portfolio, for welcoming newcomers online and helping them take next steps to connect with your congregation and just move into participation and really into the life and heart of your congregation, who is that person? If it was me, whether I'm staff or a volunteer, we want the video to be of me welcoming people. And so I'm going to share a little script in the blog post where I share this video afterwards. So if you're not getting my updates, you can check the link around this video. And I'm going to include a little script. I'll go into that now. But basically, I just want to welcome people. Be like, hey, I'm Peter. I'm responsible for connecting, yada, 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 all that stuff. And let them know what are the next steps for getting involved and why it's a great time to get involved. Plus, maybe a related COVID-19 updates. So what does that do? It makes a human connection, even though it's recorded, on your YouTube channel 24/7. I'm there waiting. Like, just always, I'm right there waiting for a newcomer to land on your page. Now, this is important because a lot of websites, especially people who are in my training programs, I'm saying they have social media icons at the top of their website. And when people land on a website, especially if it's not the most compelling website, I'm not going to point fingers, and they see social media icons, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, they click on that because like, oh, video. So when they click to YouTube, you're basically having people land on your website. They see you have social media icons, YouTube, they click over to YouTube. And then if it's not great, well, where do they go? Netflix. Michael, you know what I'm talking about. So first, we want to put that featured video of your welcome person front and center for newcomers. Number two, you want to create clear next steps for the person to get involved. So whether it's on your website, you might have a newcomer page where you're saying to get involved in our congregation. The best way to do that is through our newcomer Zoom, coffee, chat groups, whatever it is you're doing. You want to make sure you have a clear next step, but within your video, you want to make sure your welcome person mentions that next step, but then you want to put a link to taking that step in the video description. So anyone who's coming to your channel, they're welcomed, you've articulated next steps, invited them to take those steps, and you give them a link to click. A bunch of congregational websites I've looked at recently, there's actually no place to click to go to the congregation's website. It's kind of like assuming that all the videos are on their website and people are only finding it that way. Whereas YouTube's one of the top search engines on the planet. So people are finding videos and then wanting to get involved in the congregation. We have to link people back to your congregation. And we want to do that, directing them to where to take the next steps if they're a newcomer. Step three. Now, I told you I've seen a lot of congregations' websites YouTube channels where it's like 6 videos, uploads. And when I see that, I'm like, wow, do they not have any content? Like, I thought this congregation's like 200 years old or whatever it is, really well established, or it's one of our largest congregations. I look at their list of videos. Like if you click videos on YouTube, it's like, wait, they got 200 videos and it only shows 6 on the home page. We have to organize that. So how do you do that? We want to take your content and organize it into playlists. So YouTube lets you create playlists. So you can say, here's a playlist of worship services, or maybe here's a YouTube channel playlist, a YouTube playlist of testimonials. If you have music videos, if you're doing like choir stuff online right now and you're rocking all those choir videos, maybe you have a whole playlist of your music ministry. So you can organize your content into playlists. So your next step is to look at the content you do have. I know different congregations have different content. Some of you have all sorts of different videos. Others, it's all just worship. So you want to look at your content and figure out, how can I organize this so it's optimized for a newcomer, a visitor online, a newer member, or even our existing members who want to explore that content. And so you have to make some decisions. So I think if you can think about, even if you only have worship services on your channel, you may say, here are featured worship services, or newcomers, and then tell them this is like the best place to dive in of like the 200 worship videos we have, start here. So you can make some decisions about how to organize that, but think about like, what would a newcomer want to know? So once you kind of plan out some of that organization, it could be, you could have a playlist for welcoming people, a visitor guide, maybe testimonials, featured worship services, social justice, let people know what kind of social justice efforts you're doing, like how are you making a difference. Behind the scenes, some of our congregations are sharing some cool behind the scenes content, so you can organize all that into playlists. So the first step is to decide how are you going to organize it based on your content. And then 4, make those playlists. You actually have to go into YouTube, to your profile, log in, go to your profile circle, to YouTube Studio and playlists, and actually make the distinct playlists. And once you do that, you can pop the different videos in, and then you have your playlist with appropriate content, which is actually cool because once you have those playlists, you could embed that playlist on a corresponding page of your website. So all of a sudden, it's easier to showcase your content. Step 5, after you've actually made the playlist, you have to add them to that front page of your channel. So logged in, click customize channel, and then YouTube's going to give you different options where you can say show most popular videos, show a set of playlists, show a single playlist. And I personally like it when I land on a channel, congregation channel, and there's a featured video, and then I can see I like popular uploads because I like to know like what's the most popular content on the site, because also that's a good way for people to see some of your best content. And then very focused topic, just playlist in a strip going across, they like 6 videos for your children and family ministry, 6 behind the scenes, and of course you can explore those further. And so what does that do? One of the things I talk about is that we need to be really supporting people as they develop, as they go along this digital path to membership. And that when people first visit your congregation, their first thought might not be, I'm going to join this congregation and become a member. Well, they might not say that, but if they're looking to become part of a congregation and develop a sense of belonging, community, if they want to engage in the spiritual exploration, that's typical for your congregation, and all the things that come with participating in your congregation, if all goes well, they're going to be moving towards membership in your congregation. Well, with everything happening online, it's very easy for people to get lost along the process, to feel like they're maybe not learning what they need to know, or they're not connecting with people. And so the more we can streamline the educational information we have for people, inspirational content, the social justice work we're doing, the more we can organize that for people online, the easier it is for them to land on your channel and go, oh, wow, here's that the welcome video. Peter seems so nice. Like, he seems great. I can reach out to him. Maybe on the next step page, there's how to contact me. So I can be in touch about just different issues and questions a person might have. And so, we make a personal connection. We make it clear, like, oh, this is what the congregation is about. This is what the sermons are like. This is what, all the great things they're doing. If you have a big event every year, maybe whether there's something fun, or like I knew a congregation that used to do an amazing haunted house every year, and they had some fun videos about the haunted house. And so like that could be an awesome thing to include there. Like, what's the special thing you do to include all that? And that just helps people explore in a focused way. And I think the easier we make it, the more likely they're going to take those next steps. So after they explore, all that channel content that you've organized for them, set up as playlists, I think they're more likely to actually follow what I said in the welcome video. Click here in the description, and whatever that next step is, and it's your choice what you make that, they can move on and hopefully connect successfully with your congregation. So that's kind of the overview. If your congregation has a channel that is already set up like that, comment around this video so people can check it out. I was looking right before doing this session. I was actually thinking about showing some screenshots of congregations where that's done, but like I didn't find that many good examples of congregations where it's really well organized and fully optimized for newcomers the way I'm talking about. So if you've done that, show us. All right. I didn't want to say, well, here's an example, but it's not quite right. So show us your amazing examples. If that makes sense, let me know what you think your next steps are. If you have questions, does anyone have questions now? How are you doing? Wow, it's like 15 minutes on the dot. As I've said, I'm starting to play around with doing these shorter strategy sessions. Why? I know our leaders are busy, and I want you to be able to learn some strategies, implement it quickly, explore, discuss as a staff team or a leadership team, and just keep moving forward. All right. So any questions before we wrap up this session? No? Okay. You guys are rocking. So I'll just tell you, I'm opening enrollment for Video Ministry Academy for the October session. So on-demand course on video ministry, skill training, strategy, all the things we've been talking about here, but much more. And in addition to all the on-demand content, I do coaching within our Facebook group. And this time, I'm going to be offering the Q&A, the live Q&A sessions I do via Zoom webinar. So I'm kind of trying to move off Facebook a little bit. Why? Because they're doing horrible things to support efforts to undermine confidence in our democracy, elections, and all sorts of other nasty things. So kind of downshifting the Facebook. All right. So if you have questions about Video Ministry Academy, feel free to reach out. I'll be promoting that over the next week or so before we kick off in October. And thanks to all of you for joining. All right. Oh yeah. And if you, Jacqueline, if you, in terms of a digital path to membership on my YouTube channel, there's more content on that topic. All right. And in module 4 in Video Ministry Academy is really using video to support a digital path to membership. That's it. That's right, Michael. Preach it. And I'll talk to you soon, Michael. We got to connect again. All right. That's it, Peter.